Hi, I'm Peter Brusso for 101 Small Business Mastermind, and Frank and I are back slaving away at this podcast again. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Peter.
And we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of very cool stuff as usual. Well, some of the podcasts are better than others. But first, in the Defenders, these tools that I've got on here. This is a new version, clip-on version, but as a business, I looked at my business and my standard ticket price, which is your order, okay, was about $21.90. Everybody seemed to get the basic model and I couldn't get it off the dime. And this has been years, you know, and occasionally, I offered some other things and this and that. And by the way, I probably should at least mention that I started this just like you're standing. When I was standing in the grocery store at the checkouts line, we've all done that. And you see all the magazines and candies and everything else, impulse buy. And I thought, how the heck could I simulate an impulse buy on the web? Okay. I mean, theoretically, I don't know you can because they don't stand in a line, but I thought about it and I said, oh, I know what to do. So they make an order and I get an order from my WooCommerce module. I immediately jump on there and of course I made another page that says, hey, you've already paid for shipping. Now, I'm going to give you a deep discount on these other models and I'll just stick it in the bag, you know, stick it in the mailer. But you only have, this is cool, till tomorrow morning because I mail in the morning. So you have to make your decision over the short length of time. Then I just slide it in there. I mean, it's effortless, right? And that increased my sales by 20 to 30%. So I reinstituted that. I'm running about a 12 to 15% number right now. I haven't hit it that hard and I only have 3 products. I don't have a laundry list of stuff, but it certainly does show that once they purchase, they're apt to purchase again, which is really kind of cool. So how can I move the ticket price up? Well, I'm pleased to tell everybody my ticket price, and I'll remind you, was $21.90. It's now up to $56.88 as an average ticket price. How about that, Frank?
Wow, that's almost triple.
Yes.
Wow.
And I did it with the new addition to these things, thinking out of the box. You want to grab it and go. A little less military thinking about building what you want to work with. And here it is, go kill, go defend, do whatever. And so I wanted to report on that. So I'm pretty pleased at the ticket price popping up so much. All right. Misfits and Entrepreneurs, last meeting, I take it. I just heard this morning with you.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. What they learn. Why is it the last meeting and what they learn?
Well, okay, we'll talk about the last meeting before. I put this group together called the Meetup group here in the Palm Springs area. And I said, oh, who's interested in growing a business, starting a business, and have people call you and ask you as opposed to you prospecting. Instead of you chasing prospects chase you. And I said, this is how many people are interested. And in about 6 months, it's been about 6 months, I guess, maybe a little longer, I've had 57 people sign up. I said, wow, this is really good. Okay. Yeah, about 8 to 10 people a month. I said, this is pretty cool. And I run my meetings every Thursday morning at 7:30 in the morning at a local coffee and bakery shop. Yeah, Coco's restaurant. And I learned and relearned 2 things. Number one, committing on a computer is easy. Showing up is hard. Okay? Everybody wants to make millions, but very few are willing to put the work in to do it. Matter of fact, a statistic I read, which was verified this last few months, is for every 100 people who are gung-ho about doing something, you are convinced they are going to break down walls to do what they want to do, only 3 people will attempt to do it. And that was the ads. That was the average that I had in my meeting. And there were 3 people this morning meeting. And I said, you know what? I said, to these people that were there, I said, you people are committed. I said, you and I will meet during it, because it's 7:30 in the morning is tough. It was tough for some people, especially one lady who's a performer. I said, I'm going to cancel the meeting. No one else is going to be invited. In fact, the meeting is not, the meetup group will be over shortly as soon as I cancel it, delete it. I said, but we will continue to work and we'll meet at a convenient time in the afternoon at a Starbucks or a coffee shop, whatever. So talk is cheap, action is hard. Those of us who take action, we are already better than 97% of the people out there who talk but don't do anything. So if you want to start a business or grow a business, get off your duff and do something. There are people out there who are willing to help you. Well, we're going to talk about that at the end of the podcast, how we can help you. But you'll go to many parties and groups or events, and people will talk, and talk about all the great things that they're going to do. Only 3 out of 100 will actually do anything. 3 out of 100. Isn't that amazing? 97 people out of 100 will talk and not do a damn thing.
You know, one thing physically, I think it's a better percentage if you have a website and people get there to get them to do something, they don't have to move. There is an advantage over digital versus brick and mortar.
I had one guy contact, this is maybe 2 months into the group, and he contacted me through messaging, through Meetup messaging. And he says, hey, I really like your idea. And, you know, man, boy, this is really, that's where I am. And I said, oh, great. I said, let's come on to our meeting and let's talk. He says, okay, when do you meet again? It was an interesting question because it says when we meet. I said 7:30. He says, in the morning? I said, yes. He says, oh, I don't get up till 9 or 9:30. I said, okay, you'll have to get up earlier then. Oh, no, I'm not going to. Can we meet later in the afternoon or something? I said, no. So right away, I knew he was a talker. Right away, I knew he was a 97, not a 3.
Only if it's convenient for him.
Right. So anyway, so it was, I called it a start because we had in fact, I'm going to talk about the people that showed up. We had a great meeting, really some good. We're going to talk about it later in this podcast. But anyway, so I said, you guys committed to showing up? Guys, there was a woman there as well. I said, we're going to meet at a convenient time for everybody and want to be at 7:30 in the morning. So that's why it's the last meeting.
Cool. All right. Well, actually, and you use it kind of as a sounding board for your membership site, right? Mm-hmm. Which we're going to talk about later.
Yes. And also, I always prepared something that I thought would be a presentation or information that I would talk about, and then we would talk about it as a group of how if you want to start a business or grow a business, something that it will be helpful to you. And there are nuggets there. It's up to you whether they fit your plans or not, but there's always at least 2 or 3 nuggets in every meeting that people will leave. It'll be worth their while to show up.
Yeah, I used to go, and then I quit going when I realized I was toxic to the group. Because I was a bull in a china cabinet the first time. I just don't have much tolerance for people that talk but don't do. And you have solutions for them and they won't reach out and grab it. They're going to drown without reaching for that life ring, you know. I just don't have much. I'm not going to waste my life force around people like that. And not to say that was all that way. And then of course, between you, myself, and Charlie, we get all excited and telling all kinds of stuff. And I walk away going, wow, this is such powerful stuff and nobody is reaching out and grabbing anything. You know, I might as well go work on my website and increase my ticket value, which is exactly what I did.
And we're glad you did.
25 more products out there, 30 more videos. You know, I mean, I was a madman doing videos and getting that stuff out there. So anyway, on the last class, there were 3 things you mentioned that you brought out today that I'd like you to talk about, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Les, you know?
Yeah. 3 topics. The first topic that we talked about today is the less you know, the smarter you are. Okay, well, that's
an oxymoron.
That is okay. So I said, have you ever heard of Invisalign? Invisalign is that new orthodontia thing. Invisalign, the company Invisalign, was founded by non-dentists. They weren't dentists. Uber was founded by people who weren't taxi drivers, who were not in the business. Airbnb was founded by people who were not hotel people. Okay. You don't need to know the industry to make an impact, is the point I was making. You know what you need to know? You need to know a problem in that industry that people have, but they do not want. A
And be
problem,
disruptive.
right. The more you know about an industry, the more you accept these are the rules. We don't do things, and you're stuck like everybody else. Well, no, that's not the way you do it, Frank. We got to do it this way because that's the way it's always been done. When you don't know, ignorance is bliss. You say, well, I don't care what the rules are. Here's what we need to do it. So the key to success and the key to make millions, why they make millions and you don't, is identify a problem people have but do not want. You can learn the industry later. Mm-hmm. Identify the problem. So that was, and we had a good discussion about that.
May I comment?
Yes, please.
Anton Simpson, my business partner in engineering, he was always admiring me because I'd go into these negotiations, and he said I had the courage of a cruise missile. I said, what does that mean? And I said, well, you know, I helped invent cruise missiles, and they fly to target and blow up. And I said, well, I never blew up. I went in and got what we wanted. He goes, well, I also like to say you're too stupid to know you can fail. I'm not a stupid man, but I understand what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Failure wasn't part of my vocabulary. I just like you said, the less you know, the more you know, the more powerful you are. I didn't know I could fail. You know,
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay, topic number 2.
Yes, it would be a lot more.
Well, yeah, a lot more once upon a time, and a lot less I am. Well, what does that mean? I'm glad you asked.
So what does that mean?
Thank you.
Precisely. Explain that, please.
Since 1993 and 2007, now those are the dates that the internet and the iPhone were introduced to the world. The internet in 93 and the iPhone in 07. Since those 2 events, the world is now swimming in content and information. It is estimated that each person is bombarded with 5,000 marketing messages per day. Now, that number you may think is really, really high, but it's pretty accurate. And why does it seem high? Because we have trained ourselves to ignore them. So with 5,000 marketing messages a day, you think people want one more marketing message? Nah, they don't. Large companies, I'll call it Procter & Gamble, probably the largest advertiser in the world, and the Peter Brussos and Frank Ringers in the world are all struggling with the same problem. Procter & Gamble, Peter Brusso. What's the problem? Getting a prospect's attention. We have been trained to ignore. And again, TiVo, you could fast forward, eliminate commercials, right? We don't want that. Everybody knows this, but we're still stuck in the good old days. We still do direct mail. We have posters, we have flyers, we have newspaper ads, radio ads, TV ads, and so forth, or billboards or posters on taxi cabs, that kind of thing. And most of them say the same thing. Hey, we are the oldest. We've been around the longest. We're the fastest. We're the cheapest. We have the most famous clients, biggest clients, so forth. It's we. I call it the 50s stuff. And here's a secret that I shared with my group this morning. Your prospects, they don't care about you. They don't care about your products, and they don't care about your services. Not yet. You know what they care about? Themselves. They care about themselves. Too many businesses are responding to a world with too much content by creating more unwanted content. You're just adding to the problem. The only way to reach your audience or your prospects in today's information-drenched, content-saturated world is through a marketing plan or marketing message that emotionally connects with the people you are trying to reach. Not connects with everybody, because not everybody is your prospect. that the marketing message has got to emotionally connect with the people you are trying to reach. And nothing triggers emotions quicker than an interesting story. An interesting story. You tell me a story, I say, whoa. You tell me, hey, I am this, I am that. Oh, God, let me wait. So when I was preparing, I said, okay, let me go back and talk about what we're doing right now. And I'll talk about, the first one will be what I call the I way, and the second way is what I call the once upon a time way. Let me talk about, hey, let's assume I'm in I'm presenting at a chamber meeting, okay? So he says, hey, Frank, why don't you tell us about who you are before you give your talk? Here's what I would have said to introduce myself to an audience that doesn't know me. I say, hi, my name's Frank Zoringa. I have been a high school math teacher, a computer programmer, and a high-tech sales vice president. I've given business presentations throughout North America and South America. I have sold to many of the Fortune 500 companies. I have taught sales and marketing throughout the United States. I have traveled to the Far East to raise money for 3 American companies, Singapore and India. And for the last 4 years, I've participated in a small business marketing podcast and talked about 95 people who have done well in business. I teach struggling entrepreneurs how to have less stress and make more sales. After the meeting, let's you and I talk about when we can meet so I can discuss your needs. I would have said that and been very proud. Damn, he's done this, VP of sales, not bad. And I analyze it. In those 8 sentences, I said the word I 8 times. How boring, how egotistical, and how insulting. Now, maybe I exaggerated a little bit, my I stuff, but think about it. When people introduce themselves, they talk about themselves, don't they? They talk about how great they are, how long they've been doing it, all the people they've done, Fortune 500, whatever it is, okay? I says, boom, throw that out. Let me redo this in the interesting story way. And here's what I came up with. I have studied, hi, my name is Frank Zoringa. I have studied the methodologies of 95 everyday people who are successful in business. Not the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates of the world, people that could be your next door neighbor, people that stand in line with you at your coffee shop or sit at a table next to you at your restaurant. These 95 people are good people with unique, intriguing backgrounds. For example, a young mom living in a homeless shelter, a high school dropout and a college dropout who was confused until he was waiting in line at a McDonald's drive-thru, or a divorced mom who was now forced to care for her 3 young children, but her only talent was she knew how to make chicken salad. And I have 92 other unique, fascinating backgrounds. But because of their methodologies, each of these unique 95 people have 3 things in common. Number 1, at a critical decision time in their life, they did not do what most people do and follow the popular opinion. They did just the opposite. Number 2, like most people, who chase prospects, they don't chase prospects. Prospects chase them. And the third thing is, they make millions, and most people don't. I teach powerful people these methodologies so that they can have their prospects chasing them. In 12 sentences, I said the word I twice, once in the beginning and once at the end. Which one do you think will have more of an impact with my audience?
That's a tough choice. Let me see. I have to listen to your resume or an engaging story that I want to know more.
Bingo.
I'll take that one.
Bingo. Bingo. Now, maybe it's Frank, but if you think about it, how many times have you said too many I's and not enough engaging story, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You're all trying to tell them how great you are, as opposed to you should be telling them how great they can be. It's all about them not about you, until they decide to find out more about you. Then you tell them how great you are. Until then, they don't care.
Now, I guess we'll get into that later. But I'm so excited by what you're doing. We have a new adventure, but we'll shed that at the end here. Share that at the end. Your last one was Awake the Charisma.
Yeah, I believe it's called Awaken the Charisma in You. Little variation of the Tony Robbins thing. Awaken whatever it is, the giant in you, whatever he says.
The giant.
Yeah. I believe that each person, no matter where you are in the world, I really don't care where you are, is born with a particular calling why you were put on this earth. But each person has been given a certain amount of charisma. Every person has it. Charisma is something that everybody has. Some people develop it more than others. And so I started my session this morning with my people, and I said, who is the most, aside from the people in the room, because I don't want anybody to say, oh, it's got to be you, because we don't want that. Aside from the people in the room, who is the most charismatic person you know? So we're in a room, and we identified a person that wasn't in the room that was charismatic. And I said, what makes them charismatic in your eyes? And we talked about the different features. And I said, okay. And again, there's no wrong answer. Just whatever you believe. And I said, well, I did research, which is what I love to do. And I've got 5 tips of how you can maximize your God-given charisma. Whatever you have, we want to make it more powerful. And here are the 5 things you can do. Number 1, embrace your imperfections. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. When you tell me that you're not perfect, I can relate to you. When you embrace your imperfections, I said, man, you're just like me. That's really cool. And you know all the stuff that I don't know. Wow, you're going to understand me. You're not an Adonis. You're a guy or a girl or whatever. Embrace your imperfections. Number 2, how would you like to be the most interesting person in a room? Everybody says yes. The way you get to be the most interesting person in a room is to be the most interested person in the room. What do I mean by that? You meet someone at a cocktail party, networking, I hate networking events, whatever it is, meetings, whatever it is. And stop the vomiting of the socially accepted questions. Oh, hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. How long you been here in the Valley?
Too long.
Oh, where'd you move here from?
The other valley.
Okay. And again, and it's boring, and you sound like everybody else, and I can't wait. I'm looking over your shoulder because I really don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay. You want to be the most interesting person in the room? Ask them an interesting question. Well, who's the most charismatic person you know that's not here at this party?
Good question. Anthony Robbins.
Beautiful. Why is that?
He's powerful. He gets people to open up, gets them to believe in themselves, breaks down barriers, gets people to do things that they thought they could never do.
Wow. Okay. What's the most interesting project you've worked on in the last few months?
You.
Okay.
Frank.
Good answer. The key is to get them to tell you their story. What's the one thing people love talking about more than anything else in the world?
Usually themselves.
Yes. If you ask them an interesting question where you're saying, hey, tell me about you. Don't, if they want, they'll ask you the same question. If they don't, that's okay. When you leave that conversation, they will think you're the most interesting person in the room because you are the most interested in them. It works. Maya Angelou, the poetess who died recently, she's the one who said, people will easily forget what you do and what you say, what your occupation, what you say, but they will very seldom forget how you made them feel.
Mm. That's true.
Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, when you talk about people, gush, don't gossip. You say, well, let me tell you about Anthony Robbins. Oh, yeah, everybody knows Anthony Robbins. Did you know that he is a da-na-na-na, and then you start throwing some dirt on him? The minute you do that, 2 things happen. Number 1, they think, oh, man, I wonder if he's really talking about himself. Or even worse than that, what's he going to say about me when we're no longer talking together? Find something sincerely complimentary to say about the person that you're referring to, and they'll think, ooh, wow, I wonder what he's going to say about me. What nice thing he's going to say about me. Gush, don't gossip. Point number 4. Use your hands when you talk. This comes back to the caveman days. The reason why people shake hands today, one of the reasons in the caveman, they want to know if you had a rock, a spear, or a stick in your hand.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in all of us. When you have nothing in your hands to say, oh, this guy's friendly and so forth. Don't stand like this, because number one, you're bored and you're trying to protect yourself from them. And don't stand like this with your hands in your pocket. Don't be a clown, but talk with your hands. Be a natural hand gesture. And number 5, the last one, is something that the 2 people that I think do it the best of anybody I've never met, but I've heard about and seen on TV. The 2 people that do it the best are Bill Clinton and Donald J. Trump. And here's number 5. When you're talking to someone, gaze deeply, not creepily. When you and I are talking, and I'm looking at you, and I'm not looking over your shoulders, you just came into Coco's or that type of thing, right? When I'm looking at you, I think when people look at me directly, when it's me, I think they think I'm important. They don't want to miss anything I'm saying. They want to pay attention. People love to feel like they're important to someone. Now, you can't do this and bore a hole. That's called creepily. 60% of the time, you should look directly at them. Watch Clinton and watch Trump when they're at events and they're talking to somebody. And with Trump, because he's on recently, most of the time now. When he's talking to someone in that line or at he's doing a rally tonight in Indiana, when he talks to someone, the whole room is empty. All he's doing is concentrating in that one person. So those are the 5 things. Embrace your imperfections. Be the most interesting person in the room. Gush, don't gossip. Use your hands. And gaze deeply, not creepily. Boom. That's it.
I caught myself on one of our podcasts because, as a martial artist, my hand motions are very exact, and they don't fly all over the place. I'm always very exact with what I'm doing. I go, wow, that's sure telltale that I'm an artist.
There you go.
Yeah, boy. All right.
So those were the 3 topics that we talked about.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. And I can see I'm going to have to annotate our video here. All right. Can we move on to this week's Why They Make Millions and You Don't?
Yes.
Video?
Yes.
Let me share my screen and sound. Yes. And here we go. And here we go.
The date, January 9th, 2007. The city, San Francisco. The event, Macworld. Steve Jobs walks on stage and opens his presentation with these 12 words. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And of course, he was there to talk about and introduce the iPhone. And next to the internet, the iPhone or the smartphone, for what other devices, has changed the way business is done since their inception. And I mean how every business is done. For example, the world's largest hotel chain owns no hotel rooms. The world's largest taxi company owns no cars. The world's largest retail operation owns no inventory. Yeah, I'm talking about Airbnb, Uber, and Alibaba, who have grown their businesses with the internet and with the invention of the iPhone and the smartphone. So what does this mean to you if you are thinking of starting a business or growing a business? Well, for the last 3.5 years, I've participated in a podcast called 101 Small Business Mastermind. As a matter of fact, we just completed our 100th podcast last week. And for 95 of those podcasts, I have talked about a person who has done extraordinary things in the business world. Now, these people weren't the Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or Jeff Bezos of the world. Everybody knows their story. The people I talked about, each of the 95 of them, were people that could be your next door neighbor. People that would stand in front of you or in line with you at your coffee shop or the checkout counter at your supermarket or sitting at the table next to you at your local restaurant. Good people, great people, everyday people who did extraordinary things. Pictured here are 20 of my 95 people. Some people call them celebrities, superstars, millionaires. I don't know if they like that name or not. I have a special name for them. I call them the luminaries. Why luminary? Because if we study their story, what they did and how they did it, they can shine a light on a pathway for the rest of us to do it. And I became obsessed with that concept. How did these 95 people make millions when 99% of the people who try this don't even make thousands? So I did some research. I put together spreadsheets and analysis, and I read and I watched and I just did all sorts of analysis and research. And here's what happened. What did I learn from my research? I learned that each of these 95 people employed these 5 keys that allowed them to become a luminary and allow them to get their best prospects to ask for them to be contacted. Luminaries do not chase prospects. Prospects chase luminaries. So what are those 5 keys? Key number 1. Each of these 95 luminaries followed a specific flow. I'll share that flow with you. Each of these 95 luminaries did not accept a popular myth which allowed them to do what they did. I'll share that myth with you. Each of these 95 luminaries solved a problem. I'll show you the problem they solved. Each of these 95 luminaries followed a specific process to come up with a solution to that problem. I'll share that process with you. And each of these 95 luminaries lived a specific mindset. 3 things in particular. I'll share those 3 things with you. Okay, Frank, so where do we start? Well, we start with the flow. I call it follow the flow. The flow has 3 specific boxes in a specific order. First box, get disrupted, then you get discovered, then you get desired. I just finished reading a book by Jay Samit, S-A-M-I-T, called Disrupt You. And in it, he says in so many words, you cannot change your world, your business world, I guess, until you change you. These 95 luminaries went to a specific change. They disrupted themselves before they could go out to go out and do their disruption to their industry. Let me give you an example. And we'll start with box number 1. I call it the unapologetic box. First, it was Emily Nunes Cavness. Emily Nunes Cavness is very proud of a number of things, but I identified 4 things she is particularly proud about. Number 1, Emily is proud that she was raised in the military family. Her dad was an instructor at West Point Academy. Emily was proud that she joined the Army and served a tour of duty in Afghanistan. Emily is proud that she and her sister Betsy started a company called Sword and Plow that transforms military surplus into stylish bags. And Emily is especially proud that Sword and Plow hires returning veterans. Emily Nunes Cavness is unapologetically proud of who she is and what she believes in. Next, Stacy Brown. When Stacy Brown needed to support her 3 young children after her divorce, Stacy turned her obsession with chicken salad, you heard me right, chicken salad, into a string of successful restaurants called Chicken Salad Chick. Stacy Brown is unapologetically obsessed with chicken salad. Then there's Amber Blonigan. Amber Blonigan, a financial advisor, was disappointed with the auto repair shops she had to deal with when she had to get her BMW serviced. And thinking about it, Amber was convinced that the people who own exotic and luxury cars, she calls them VIPs, that these VIPs were hungry for an auto repair shop that acted more like a Ritz-Carlton than the dirty, surly auto repair shops around the corner. So Amber started a company called GI Automotive Group that did just that. Amber Blonigan is unapologetically convinced that her visions of a Ritz-Carlton-like auto repair shop was exactly what VIPs wanted. Let's go to box number 2, the unforgettable box. Let me tell you the story about Wambi Rose. Wambi Rose, a trained naval architect and engineer, was still looking for what he wanted to do the rest of his life when, on a school business trip to Vietnam, Wambi met a street vendor in Ho Chi Minh City. This street vendor was displaying incredible handcrafted 3D pop-up paper cards. Wambi looked at that and saw the potential immediately. So Wambi returned to the U.S. and with some of his friends started a company called Love Pop Cards to disrupt the $8 billion greeting card industry. Wambi Rose is unforgettably different because of his pop-up cards in the greeting card industry. Let me tell you about Caitlin Gleason. Caitlin Gleason couldn't believe that thousands of doctors had millions and millions of dollars tied up in receivables because they and their staff had a problem complying with the regulations and the input requirements for something called X12 EDI. If you don't comply with X12 EDI, you don't get paid. So Caitlin created a company called Eligible that handled the X12 EDI situation. Caitlin Gleason is unforgettably focused on solving the X12 EDI problem. Then there's Kimra Luna. Kimra was disappointed to learn that most online business training programs teach you what to do to be successful, but not how to do it. So Kimra created a program called Be True, Brand You that teaches exactly what to do and how to do it to be as successful with an online business. Kimra Luna is unforgettably intriguing with her online business training program. Let's go to box number 3. I'll tell you about Alexa von Tobel. As a student at Harvard University, Alexa von Tobel was disappointed that she could not find any courses that would teach her the basics of financial literacy. And she knew that many in her age bracket knew nothing about financial literacy and would appreciate and value these courses. So Alexa created a company called LearnVest that does just that. Alexa Von Tobel is irresistibly empathetic with people struggling with financial literacy. Then there's the story of Naomi Dunford. While living at a homeless shelter with her 2 children, Naomi Dunford realized that too many small businesses who could not afford a marketing department had nowhere to go to get marketing expertise. So Naomi took the knowledge that she learned from her parents and her grandfather and created a company called IttyBiz that does just that. Naomi Dunford is irresistibly insightful with her small business marketing knowledge. And then there's the story of Jen Rosenbaum. Jen Rosenbaum loved taking pictures of her daughter and then of weddings. Not only did it make Jen feel good to express her creativity with her photography, but she got so much pleasure out of seeing the joy that her photos brought to her clients. Well, Jen wanted to spread the joy of her photos to those who needed it the most, specifically women who needed an extra boost to make them feel special and feel beautiful. So Jen started a boudoir photo business where Jen would invite clients into her bedroom, or she would go to their bedroom and give them a non-judgmental professional photo shoot displaying their outer and inner beauty. It was so well received by her clients that the photo shoots were called Jen Therapy. Jen Rosenbaum is irresistibly trustworthy in the personal photography industry. Get disrupted, then get discovered, then get desired, and then you'll get paid your true value, not just for your time. Okay, Frank, so what specifically prevents people from becoming what you call luminaries? Well, there's a specific myth that is stopping people from doing this. Let me share this myth with you. Many people you know who are starting a business or want to grow a business do one of these 3 things. They try to make their product or service better than what the competition does, okay? Or they say, hey, we do what the competition does, but we do it cheaper. Come buy from us. Or the third thing was, I do what the competition does, but I do it faster than anybody else. Better, cheaper, faster, 1, 2, or 3, whatever. Everybody does the same marketing. What happens is you become noise and your prospects ignore you because you sound just like everybody else. My 95 luminaries took a different tack. They said, I no longer follow that myth. Here's what they do. You see all those people over there in that box that are competing on better, faster, cheaper? I am different. When you're different, you have no competition. When you're different, you can charge a better price. Matter of fact, many of my 95 luminaries charge more than the people in their industry. When you are different and you are unforgettable and you are irresistible, people are excited and can't wait to talk to you. That's why prospects chase luminaries. Okay, Frank, so where do I find a place for me to become a luminary? Where do I find the problems? Well, you look all around you, and I'll give you 3 examples of people who did just that. 3 of my luminaries. Luminary number 1 is Ollie Webb. Ollie Webb was an out-of-work hairdresser who was a stay-at-home mom, and she discovered that most women, before attending a special occasion, they just wanted a blow dry, but they did not want the hassle of making an appointment, driving to their hair salon, getting it done, and coming back. It was too much hassle. So to solve this problem, Ollie started a mobile blow dry business where she would go to the client's home and give them a professional blow dry. Well, this mobile blow dry business grew so much that Ollie had to open a blow-dry only shop, which she called Dry Bar, where a woman would come in, get their professional blow-dry, and leave looking fabulous and confident. Today, there are 92 Dry Bar locations throughout the U.S. Ollie Webb solved the problem. The problem is, how can I get a convenient professional blow-dry? That's what Ollie does. Then there's Kara Golden. Kara Golden was a stay-at-home mom, and she had a terrible time getting her kids to drink water instead of that sugary soda that they devoured and were addicted to. And why did the kids not want the water? Because they said, "Mom, water is boring and it doesn't taste good." So Kara took the water at home and started infusing the water with fresh fruit slices, and her kids loved the taste and stopped drinking soda. But then they gave some of this flavored water to their buddies in the neighborhood, and it wasn't too long, but Kara got so many phone calls from neighborhood moms asking where they could buy this fruit-flavored water that her kids wanted so badly. So Kara started a company called Hint Water that is now being sold throughout the U.S. Kara solved this problem. "Mom, water is boring and doesn't taste good," with her Hint Water. Then there's Brian Scudamore. I love this story. While waiting in line at a McDonald's drive-thru, Brian Scudamore, a high school dropout and then a college dropout, noticed a junky truck in front of him with a terrible hand-painted sign that says, "We take away your junk." Well, Brian looked at that and said, who in the world would want a junky-looking truck with unprofessional-looking men to come to their home and take away their junk? So Brian had an idea. He started a company called 1-800-GUT-JUNK with professional-looking trucks, which you see in the picture behind him, and cleaned, uniformed professional employees who would come to your home and remove your junk. Today, there are 156 800-GUT-JUNK locations throughout North America. Brian solved this problem. How can I get professionals to haul away my junk? There's your answer. Look around you. There are problems that need to be solved. The fastest way to become a luminary, the fastest way to make millions, is to solve a problem that people have, but they do not want. Look around, they're all around you. Oh, wow. Okay, Frank. So how do I find a solution? Well, that's another thing that came out of my research. My 95 luminaries had a specific process to do this, and let me share this with you. Once you find a problem that needs to be solved because people don't want it anymore, the first thing to do is called imagine. Imagine how you would solve this problem. And the beautiful thing about imagining, it costs you nothing. You can do it right after the end of this video. And with imagination, there are no rules, there are no restrictions. The only restriction is your imagination. What if we could do this? What if we no longer have to follow this old rule? What if the iPhone changed everything about this problem? What if, what if, what if? Once you got a bunch of what ifs in your mind, then you go to step number 2, which is the creation process. Start taking those what ifs, sort them out, and pick the 5, 10, 25, whatever that you think will work. And in your mind, you test them out. Will this work? What are the problems? What are the obstacles? Can this work? Will it be accepted? You go through all of your things and be prepared, because most of them will not work. All you need is one. Let me give you an example of a story that everybody talks about. It was Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison did not wake up one morning and said, "I'm going to go downstairs and invent an incandescent light bulb." Now, he did the imagine what ifs, and then he did the creation. And rumor has it, what history says, that Thomas Edison had 10,000 failures before 10,001 worked. Now, hopefully you won't have 10,000 failures, but you have 520 failures, 25 failures, whatever it is. Do what Thomas Edison did. Learn from each failure and go on to the next one. when you finally found one you think will work, now you are ready to innovate and do your hint water, do your dry bar, do your learn vest, do your thing like each of my 95 luminaries did. Okay, Frank, you said that all luminaries have something in common. You said something called a mindset. Yeah, they do. And this really separates them from the rest of us. Let me share with you the three facets of their mindset that make luminaries who they are. Number one, luminaries do not set realistic goals. Luminaries set unrealistic goals. Not impossible goal, unrealistic goal. I'll give you an example when I get to number three. Luminaries realize that they're going to fail sometimes. Some things are just not going to work. Luminaries get up quickly and start the next process, the next item, the next what if. Luminaries do not sit back after failure and say, oh, wow, this ain't going to work. I'm going to take a month off to regroup. Imagine if Thomas Edison took a month off every time he failed. We'd probably still be in darkness today. Arise the fastest. But here's the key one. Luminaries do not plan forwards, they plan backwards. Let me give you a personal example. I'm working on a project right now, and my original plan was I wanted to get it going, and I wanted to get to where this project would bring in $100,000 a year. And I started where I was, and I said, let me plan forward, and what am I going to have to do between now until I reach $100,000 a year? And that was my plan. Then I went back, and I went to step number one here, and I said, let me set an unrealistic goal. Instead of $100,000 a year, I want to make $100,000 a month. Wow. Not impossible. Oh, unrealistic? Yeah, I thought so. And I knew I was going to fail. But I was going to fail no matter which plan I did, but I would eventually succeed. But then I did the plan backwards. Instead of starting where I was, I started at the $100,000 a month goal, and I worked my way backwards, and I compared this plan to the original plan, and it blew me away. The amount of effort, according to each of these separate plans, to do $100,000 a month versus $100,000 a year is not that much different. Why not go with a $100,000 a month plan? So there you have it. Those are the 5 keys to become a luminary, and hopefully you can reach $1 million, and hopefully I can learn from you as well. So the question is, okay, Frank, where can I go to learn more about this? Well, there's 2 ways. Coming soon, I will be releasing a book on Amazon. It'll be available in paperback and on your Kindle or your reading device, and in which I'll do anywhere from 20 to 25 luminaries per book, telling you their story, where they came from, the obstacles they faced, the decisions they made to move forward, and why they succeed when most people don't. And the book will be as current as the last time it was published. But I'm also going to create a community on the internet, which will be as current as the last time somebody hit the enter key. And I'm going to talk about all these stories as well, and the lessons. I'm going to give you detailed instructions, a la Kimber Luna, that shows you exactly what to do to achieve the goals that you want to go. And it'll be a community where we can share with each other. And the title of the book and the title of the internet community will be the same. It'll be called Why They Make Millions and You Don't. So if you know someone who is thinking of starting a business or growing a business, share this video with them. They may get something out of it. Have a comment? Leave a comment below. I'd love to get back to you with my reaction to your comment. And if you like, subscribe to this channel, and I'll notify you this next time the next video comes out. And I hope to see you on the other side.
Okay, Frank, that was excellent.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I hadn't seen it in about 3 or 4 days, and damn it was pretty good.
Yeah, we showed it to the group the other day, and I kept thinking, where have I seen this? Where have I seen this? Remember one.
There you go.
There we were. There we were. I always heard the story of Edison in engineering school, where
Oh,
Edison
okay.
was on a train, and everybody knew what he was trying. He was trying to invent something, and so they kind of tracked him. And one of the newspaper guys says, "Well, have you invented this light bulb thing you're looking for, and you know how to do it now?" And he goes, "No, but I know 9,999 ways not to do it."
There you go.
Same message, but that's excellent. That's good stuff. So let's talk about this new adventure that is leading right into this, the membership site.
Mhm.
Okay, so you and I are trying to launch a new business,
Yes, we are.
and
Mhm.
we're in lots of arguments.
Discussions. I like to call them discussions.
Discussions about what the right answer is. And one of the things we keep telling people is don't build your business on somebody else's platform. We were looking at somebody else's platform, I had to dig down on how they make money off of us, and lots of cool stuff going on too. But I don't know, when do you think we will make a decision and launch this thing, at least in building it?
Hopefully soon we'll start building it. I'm creating all of the elements that are going to go into the membership site. I've been creating the format and all of that, and it's now, well, this is not a complaint. As a matter of fact, it's a joy. I'm now spending 7 days a week doing this because it's something I'm obsessed with and can't get enough of.
And get up at 2 in the morning because you can't sleep anymore because you're excited.
Yeah. I have trouble falling asleep at 8:30, and then I wake up at 2 because I'm too excited about what I'm going to do today. It happened today, as a matter of fact, every day, and so it's a lot of work, but it'll be, once it's done, it'll be done. So I'm creating the videos and out writing scripts for the videos like you saw a little while ago, and it'll be something that it really, the target market are, and I was trying to work on that this morning. People people obviously thinking of starting a business or growing a business, but people who are obsessed with a topic that people care about. If you're obsessed with a topic people care about, you may have a business there. Business where two things happen that are good. Number one, you'll help people that need your help because of your expertise or your obsession and so forth. And number two, you make some money. I don't know how much money you make. Group number two, people who have a good idea but don't know what to do with it. Okay, I've got this great idea, but I don't know what to do with it. Well, we'll show you how to see if it's a viable idea and whether it's worth your while and so forth. And then group number three, which I just threw in at the last minute, people who are charging too little for their time and not getting paid for the value they deliver. People don't buy hours, they buy results. Mm-hmm. If you're delivering a good result, get paid for your result, not for your time. So, and then we go from there. Yes.
Yeah, Anton and I, we invented the rotating signs, and then later revamped the entire vending machine industry. And during our many years together, we started having these little acronyms we would create, and one of them was FANAFI. FANAFI stands for Find a Need and Fill It. So many people create something and then try to create a need, tough road. Not impossible, but a tough road, but if you can find a need. And I've been bitching every week I go to the grocery store. Do you know how stupid it is to take stuff off the shelf, put it in the cart, take the stuff out of the cart, gets checked out, then you got to put it back in the cart again, and then you take it out to the car and you take it out of the cart and put it in your cart. Do you know how stupid that is and wasteful that is? Long ago, I thought, man, take it off the shelf. As soon as you put it in the cart, it automatically calculates that onto your bill, okay? So you can have bags and you just put it in there. When you get up to the checkout, they just make sure everything is kosher, and you pay and you walk out. It's still not done. Still not done. Can you imagine if you had a Winco app, right, that did this? You scan, you can scan products in Walmart and to see what the price is and all that stuff. They have apps that you can scan to see if there are other local stores that have it less expensive. Why not a Winco app that allows you to scan everything that goes in your cart? and then pay for it. And you just
Well,
walk out.
Well, you know what Bezos' new thing is with Whole Foods?
No.
When you go in, you scan your phone, whatever. Like, they just
Right.
find your phone and scan it. The minute you take an item off the shelf, it goes into your account.
Oh, there you go.
Put it back in the deduct. But wait, there's more. Put it in your bag, whatever you're gonna do. And when you're done, walk in the store. You don't even stop. You go walk right out, and they charge to your card. It's done.
And that's what I've been saying for years. That's
There you
exactly
go. There you go. That's
You know?
what they're doing in Seattle. I think they're doing in Seattle, right?
Unbelievable. So we'll have everybody spun up on more of our membership site and its adventure. We all probably should start a blog on it just to show all the steps we're going through to immortalize what we're doing. You know,
Yes, and we can start with our thing about the platform.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's a good idea. Very good idea.
The only kind to have are good ideas. Now, last thing I want to close with, oh, by the way, I'm going to send this video to Big Bob, the computer store. And while I was listening to that, you know how he can increase his business? Well, do you know how many older people have problems with their phones? You know, how to work this, how to do that, have phone classes, right? Have tech classes, have a beginning computer class, digital pictures. How many people take pictures and they don't know how to get them off their phone and put them in Dropbox or print them or anything else? And then on those phone classes, both you know, iPhones and Androids are both different. My skills are in Android. I'm lost with iPhones, you know, and there's a whole calling for that because it's a problem, right? It's a problem, and it's in the tech world, and he should increase his mind. So I'm going to send him this video.
Good.
And see if I can get him to open his mind a little bit, especially since now he has a new place and he has an area that he can teach in. You know, we've been there. So, and the last thing I want to say, you know, Trump's got this Space Force idea, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here drinking out of my coffee cup, which nobody can see what it is, and it's an idea that I did 8 years ago, zero gravity. Okay, I wanted to teach martial arts in a zero gravity format for Marines on board spaceships with no gravity 8 years ago. And I even made a coffee cup out of it. Now, you know, I actually wanted to create environmental chambers where you compete, where it's hot and sandy, dark and rainy, you know, kind of emulating other possible environments you would have to defend yourself or go into, and actually have competitions like UFC fighters, but in these imaginary planetary environments. Can you imagine that? Wow, crazy stuff. But all skill sets that Marines would need on board spaceships, I think.
Find a problem that people have but they don't want, come up with a solution, and you're on your way.
Well, unfortunately, I think I'm too far ahead of the game, but you know, that's one of those things. So, all right, anything else, Frank?
That's it.
All right, say goodnight, Frank.
Good night, Frank.